welcome to this week's edition of the Side Splitters. My name is Lyle,
And my name is Andy.
and our goal tonight is to leave you in stitches. How are you, my horrible, horrible impersonator?
Oh, I've been hanging in there.
I'll say.
One way or another, I have been. But you know what actually gets me, man?
Oh, I'm hanging on the edge of my seat here.
Oh, man. Okay, so I want to know what kind of voodoo ritual I need to perform to get a woman to make a damn decision in their life.
I mean, this certainly sounds like a tell 'em why you mad, son. Are we starting with that?
Wait, I was going to start with that.
All right, well, go on. Tell 'em why you mad, son.
All right, so I know that this is like a big, haha, differences in genders or whatever, and it's gotta be a woman thing, right? Like, I can't be misogynistic about this, because it's biologically proven that as long as you have a vagina, you cannot make a decision, because you always try to leave yourself open some options, and that is terrible when you're trying to plan things. Like, so far, a test of endurance has been trying to get my loving fiance Carla to make decisions.
There
I
it
love
is.
her to death. I love her to death. I absolutely do. Words cannot describe how much I love this woman. But, like, getting her to say a number or a time frame or anything involving anything, I would be happy with that. Even if she just gives it me as a placeholder. Like, if she just throws out a random number, I'll hold her to it. Like, I don't even care. Like, we are getting married at the end of this year, and, like, there's a lot of stuff that still has to go into the planning process of it, and I think she started, what time is it?
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I know she's got a job. Yes, I understand that, and I understand she's very active in her community. I get that as well. But some of the stuff that I was charged with to
You
do.
make it sound like she's either this like soup kitchen runner or a high priestess of some African tribe or something.
I'm sure some of that's right if you jumble the words around.
God, high priestess of the soup kitchen. Got it.
Actually, no, that sounds pretty accurate.
Nice.
But anyway, no, just like I don't get it. Like I'm sure you have to have some of these moments with your wife on even something as simple as what do you want for dinner?
Okay, I'm going to tell you right here and now. My wife doesn't listen to this podcast. Not even the beginning of it. I know for a fact your fiance has listened to before, and I also know for a fact at any given moment she could just click on a link and go, yeah, I'll listen, even if it's for 5 minutes. So I got to tell you, by putting this in the beginning of the episode, either you're absolutely brilliant because this is your way of bringing it up to her, or you're an absolute madman and there's probably not going to be a wedding now anyway. But to go on with what your question was, yeah. Oh man, decision making. So decision making goes like this. What do you want for dinner? I don't care, anything. Well, you're the one that likes certain things. This is me talking to her. You're the one that likes
Right.
certain things. And that's when she'll give me the, well, I'm fine with, I'll find something no matter where you go. Okay. Assuming we do take out, right? So I'm like, all right, how about Taco Bell? Ooh, I don't want Taco Bell. Okay, how about Chinese? I don't think I want Chinese. Okay. All right,
Okay.
what about, like, pizza? No. What about Taco Bell? That's her suggesting to me Taco
Wow.
Bell right from the very beginning. I mean, I'm sure this will take about a half an hour to get to, but that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just stop with there. I mean, when you start living with the woman that you are going to call your wife one day, I don't like using the word fiance. I think it's such a stupid word. I don't care what you say.
Is it because it's French?
I don't know what it is. See, I like their fries, so it can't be that. Anyway, I like their toast. I love their toast.
Oh my God.
And don't get me started on pizza by them. The French bread pizza? Oh, man.
You've never been to France.
Are you kidding me? I feel a little French every time I have Oh, I'm running out of French things. I don't know. Is Nutella French? That sounds like something French.
Honestly, it sounds more Italian.
I know it is
Hey,
Italian.
Nutella.
It is Italian.
Yes.
That was a joke at me being Italian and not being a very good one. Um, but anyway, so like another thing,
Oh, those damn cowardly frogs. Go ahead.
another thing that you're gonna learn to live with, and I should say you're going to learn to live with. It's just I know for a fact that I have to deal with this, and I know several other husbands have to deal with this. It's a I actually know a wife out there that has to deal with this with her husband. It's a family member of mine. Hi, Aunt Rena. Anyway, so it's the pickiness. You never realize exactly how little someone likes something until you live with them and have to cook for them or buy food for them or a little bit of both or if you guys share dinner plans or whatever you guys set up to do, whether you're going to be doing the cooking or she's going to be doing the cooking or you guys are going to share it, whatever. You never realize how little someone can like things. And I'm sure you're sitting there thinking, well, that won't be a problem. Carla's not picky at all. I guarantee you there's something out there that she doesn't like that you freaking love. And you're not going to be able to eat it anymore now because she doesn't like it and she's never going to want it.
I would say that's true, but to be honest with you, I don't know what her repertoire of like foodstuffs is, because like no kidding, it's been like a running gag with us for like years now. But it seems like almost every time I go over there, she offers me like dinner because they still have leftovers, and it's almost always, I want to say like 98% of the time, it's chicken and rice.
Well, that's my point. You wouldn't know until you guys actually live together. And
Yeah.
since you guys are going more of the traditional standards of, moving in after marriage and all that, which is totally cool, but you're gonna learn it real quick, and it's gonna be like, my God, I would do anything for a slice of lasagna or sausage and peppers or something else that you once loved and can't have now because it would literally be a meal for yourself and it's just not worth the damn effort because then both of you guys aren't eating and it's just like what's the point?
Well, the good thing that I like about her is that she's open to try new things. I mean, for goodness sake, she cooks chicken with peanut butter.
Oh, sure, she could be open to trying new things. That's all good and fine. It doesn't mean she's going to like the new things.
No, that is absolutely true. But at least I can try to get my foot in the door of like, okay, she's never had a stuffed pepper. This is my chance.
Yeah, but you better make sure that's the best damn stuffed pepper you ever made in your life.
Oh yeah, no, I'll Google like Gordon Ramsay recipes or something. I don't care.
It only counts if you have a YouTube of him yelling at you to telling you how terrible your sauce looks or something. I don't know.
I might have to do that in the background just to have like the Gordon Ramsay motivational sizzle reel.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That'd be amazing.
Give you an example, as you and several others I'm sure know. I recently moved into a new place, me and my wife, and for reasons I won't get into, prior to moving into this place, I was cooking dinner on a regular basis, and I was only able to make certain things. Now, one of the things that I made was pasta, just your typical average pot of pasta. And when I say typical and average, it was about as typical and average as it got. It was.
I would hope that the words that you said were the words that you meant.
Oh, I don't think you understand. I boiled the pasta. I took a jar of sauce, and the only seasoning I was allowed to add to it was ground beef. Ground beef.
Okay.
So it was ground beef, jar of original sauce, and pasta. Have you any idea
Bland.
how boring that is? Yes,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
pretty bland.
So tonight, actually, I was able to make my own rendition of what I consider pasta, and I was following my mom's quick and easy recipe that she told me about years ago. And my God, it came out fantastic. And my wife was even like, "This is really good." I'm like, "Yeah, you think?" Me and my wife have been together for going on 3 years now, married, been together for going on 7 years. So
Has it
it's
been that long?
we've been together since January of 2011.
Wow.
We've been married since November of 2014. So yeah, it's been that long. um, but anyway, so like we've been together that long, and it's like she's never tried a pasta that I made that wasn't just a jar of sauce and meat. So it was exciting for me to be able to do that. But anyway, yeah, it's something you're going to have to learn to live with in terms of her making decisions and what have you and all that.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to rely on that old adage of it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission because I'm just gonna have to end up doing things, and if it ends up not being likable, then I'll see how forgiving she is.
I guess that's good to get out of the way from early on because, I have a feeling you're going to figure that out real quick anyway. But anyway,
Yeah,
um,
probably.
here's something else I want to talk about me moving in and all that, uh, and about making decisions and everything. It's not always the way that you're mentioning it, where the male is obviously so easy to make decisions, and the female, on the other hand, has no idea what she's talking about or what she wants. Sometimes it can be the other way around, Andy, and I found this out when moving into the new place. You see, stepping into this journey, I was like, yeah, decorating is all you. I don't care. Do whatever you want. This was before we even found the place that we wanted to move into. We
Okay.
found the place, and, as we're looking at it, this is one of the reasons we knew this was the one, is because as we were taking our first glance at it, she's literally going from room to room going, oh, this can go here and that can go there. And it's not a huge place. It's only 2 bedrooms, but, it's still enough for her to just go around and go, oh, this can go here, and she's visualizing how it would look after she decorated it already. So, we decided to go with the place. We signed the lease, all that. We get moved in, and now we're talking decorations. Well, first of all, one of those 2 rooms ended up being my computer room, which I, staked claim to decorating myself. I was like, this is going to be my room to decorate. Like, you can have stuff in there. We actually have plans for her to put a vanity in here so that I can have my computer desk on one side. She can have a vanity set up on the other. Um, but I said I want to decorate it though, and I did, and I had a blast. uh,
Really?
I did, and you know what? It's kind of like the nerdy room I always wanted. Like I have comic books hanging up all over the place and posters and stuff like that, and that's kind of cool. I have like little trinkets hanging out, like a Rubik's cube and stuff like that, and this little this little signed book from Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes called Jay and Silent Bob's Blueprints for Destroying Everything. And
Okay.
it's signed by the 2 guys. But anyway, so I have like stuff like that, like little trinkets that I picked up over the years, just laying out and about on display. And that's cool. And then I realized, you know, I kind of like this idea of decorating. And I don't want to be the one to do all the decorating, but at the same time, I've been keeping a watchful eye of what she is putting up as far as decorations go. And so far, we have agreed on one decoration, and it is hanging in the kitchen, and that is all. that's
Wow.
that's all we got. The rest of the walls, I mean, granted, aside if you don't count like pictures or anything like that, everything else is just completely. I'm not gonna say plain, but just pretty barren for the most part.
And that's the thing that I know. As soon as I get like a shared environment, that I'm pretty much gonna have to have like my man cave area because I know for a fact there's stuff that I either hang on my walls now or haven't hung up yet, but plan to, that she is not gonna like. So,
Yeah, I'm pretty
uh,
sure. I'm pretty sure my wife would have never appreciated me having. Um, oh God, I don't know. Let me look around here. X Factor 24 hanging up, or Amazing Spider-Man 361 hanging up in the living room. First appearance of Carnage, first appearance of Archangel. Pretty sure
yeah.
she would have been okay with those. I actually have a reprint, and this is something I've been thinking about over the years. Just thinking about when I would have the opportunity to hang them up, and lo and behold, I finally have it. I've been collecting reprints of key issues
Mhm.
over the years. So I have Amazing Fantasy 15, I have Walking Dead 1, I have Amazing Spider-Man 129. For those who don't know, first appearance of Spider-Man, first Walking Dead issue, first appearance of Punisher. Just really expensive books that would cost way too much to buy, let alone just buy to hang up as a decoration.
Right.
So I've been kind of getting reprints over the years just to have a collection so that one day when I was able to, I can have them out on display. So that's kind of cool. It's also cool that I live right down the street from a comic book store so I can buy more. um, and I've also been doing this thing. So Spawn did a run. This is the last I'll touch on comics. Spawn did a little bit of a run where they were doing homages to key issue comics as the covers. So I have the one where it's called Spawn of the Dead. I forget what issue it is, but it's an exact replica of the Walking Dead's cover, but in Spawn's universe with Spawn standing there holding a gun instead of Rick Grimes.
Nice.
And I have a couple of them like that. I won't get into it too much, but yeah. So I have the two of them mirrored across from each other from the room, so like it looks kind of cool. And then, just other stuff like random music posters and stuff like that. Anyway, I had a blast decorating the room is what I'm saying here. And now I kind of feel like I don't want to decorate the rest of the house, but I do want to have my input on it. Like I kind of just like, I don't like that decoration. Can we not get that? Like, I can't stand the live, laugh, love thing. I think that is so stupid.
I mean, you're not wrong, but...
Good.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm worried about is like, the decorations that I would love to hang up in like the public areas, she's probably just going to be like, no, what if we have company over? Like, then they'll know that I like comic books.
Yeah. Like with the way I got things set up, it's just like, oh, what if we have company over? Well, then if it's company that doesn't know I like comic books, I will hide in my computer room and they don't have to meet me.
But to say, like, any company that we have coming over are probably people that I know, so they should already know this coming out of the gate. Like, they would expect me to hang this stuff.
Right, exactly. But anyway, enough of that.
Enough of
that. There was one thing that Andy mentioned before the podcast about talking about moving into a new place and just living at different places over the years. He asked if there were any fun stories I had from houses I've lived at before. Am I getting that question accurate?
That sounds pretty accurate, yeah.
Okay. Well, I told him I had one. I used to live in a house with friends. It was me, a really good friend of mine, his sister, his two sisters actually, and one of his sisters' really good friends, which ended up being my wife. So there was 5 of us living in this house total. It was a big house, and we were all in our 20s. So what happens when a bunch of 20-year-olds get together and have a house together? You party
trash it.
a lot. I mean, a lot. Especially when one of those guys, me, is a huge hockey fan. Not huge, but I'm a hockey fan. I am a Devils fan, and the rest of the house were temporary Flyers fans. Only follow when the Flyers are in the playoffs, which is fine, whatever.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what you meant by temporary Flyers fans.
Yeah, fair weather fans, I guess is the other word. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so one year the Devils and Flyers are in the playoffs together, facing each other. Naturally, we decide to have a party every single time the two face each other. It's a best out of 7, and the games are like every 2 days. Like, we all had jobs.
Right.
But it didn't matter.
Oh, I hate hockey so much.
Oh, it gets worse. So, okay, I realize you hate hockey, that's fine. But do you know how low-scoring hockey games typically are?
Also boring?
Right. It's like, games could be as little as 1-0, and that could be the end of a game. Usually it's about in the 3s, so like 3-2, 3-1, whatever. Maybe 4-2 or so. The one game, I had a buddy come over, and I hadn't seen him in years, and he is a, diehard Philadelphia fan. Flyers, Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, you name it. Union, Soul, he likes, like, everything.
Okay.
Philadelphia. The dude likes Philadelphia. He lives there now, good for him. He finally followed his dream.
Living the dream.
Yeah. But anyway, he came over, and like I said, I hadn't seen him in years, so we decided to get a little to drink. more than what we were typically doing. It wasn't just, a couple beers, and call it a party. It was, let's get wasted and do shots. So we were already pretty good. And, after already doing so many shots, we decide, hey, I have an idea. How about every time the Devils score a goal, you have to take a shot, and every time the Flyers score a goal, I'll take a shot. Okay. So I'm like, well, it's a low-scoring game, and we're probably not going to drink on our own now because we want to be able to hold our own for when we do have to take a shot. So let's up the ante a little bit, and let's make it, shots of vodka. Okay. Let's set them on fire, though. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
What?
Hold on a second. Have you ever done a flaming shot?
No. I typically put out fire. I don't drink it.
Right. The point of a flaming shot, you light the top of it on fire so that the glass gets really, really hot, and you have to kind of like just really quickly take it all in one swig. Otherwise, you'll burn your lips.
Yeah.
So we tried this, and the vodka proof wasn't high enough to ignite the way we wanted to.
Okay.
So after the test trial, we decided, I got a better idea. What if we lined the top of them with Everclear?
Oh my God, no.
That stuff's flammable, right? So we do. We lined it, and
Oh my God.
let me tell you something. After like the second or third shot, it was like half vodka, half Everclear. And
Dangerous.
yeah, you have no idea because here's what ended up happening. The final score of that game was like 5-6. And on top of that, we had a couple more people come over, and they were all Flyers fans, and they all wanted in on a bet. So whenever the Devils would score, they would all have to do a shot. But whenever the Flyers scored, I had to do a shot for all of them. So if the Flyers scored a goal, I had to do like 3 or 4 shots.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, dude! I was so trashed that night. Fun fact. I ended up falling asleep on the girl that I now call my wife. At the time, we were, like, not even friends yet. So, it was a fateful night, to say the least.
I love how the excuse of you getting so trashed at a house party was the Devils made me do it.
They legit did. And the worst part about it is I still to this day don't even know who ended up winning that game. I just remember it being
Wow.
like ridiculously high scoring. It was like 5-6 or something like that. And I'm just like, of all times to have such a high scoring game. Oh, it was awful.
Wow.
But
That's
yeah.
rough.
Oh man, I was pretty messed up. Not 30th birthday messed up, but I was pretty messed up. So that's one of the house stories I have there for you. That's
Wow.
probably the only one I'm willing to share on here.
No doubt. Jesus, I can only imagine what other kind of rodent up the anal cavity stories you got going on with the rest of the time at that house.
Oh, you were
Because
there.
I wasn't there. Yeah, I wasn't there for the whole time. I eventually started coming around to a few get-togethers here and there, and I gotta tell you, I always had a blast every time I did. It was always good times, good people, and like always something to do. And hell, I think I've made love to more than one plush animal.
Yeah, I forgot
Like,
about that.
Yeah, that was that. See, those were the things that I was waking up with. Yeah, people like you're laying on top of somebody you eventually called your wife. If I woke up and married the thing that I laid on top of, I don't think there would be a state in this union that would recognize the marriage.
You'd be married to a giant stuffed trout.
Probably either that or a penguin or a koosh ball or some sort of body pillow.
Do you remember?
Sure by now.
Do you remember the giant body pillow that was a fish?
Of course.
Of course you remember. Well, at least you remember that one. God, I hope so. You certainly spent enough time with it.
Oh God, no, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Even the oh God, what's the best way to describe it? If you had to like get put in a mausoleum, that was probably the closest example I could give for describing the bathroom. Like that bathroom was one of those ones that you had to like move the stone slab out of your way and then put it back when you were done.
So we had a sliding door instead of a swinging door for the bathroom. And at one point, a party got a little out of hand and the door got broken. So you legitimately had to pick up the door and like run it across the slides there at the top and bottom, and in order for it to shut.
And sometimes people would be too wasted to line it up evenly, so you had a door that was like slanted.
Yeah, it was just like crooked, barely hanging on by the hook. That. Oh God. All right, I got one more
Oh
story.
man.
I got one more story.
Okay.
From the same house. Actually, funny enough, with the same guy. See, after that night, he ended up coming around more often. Yeah, go figure.
Go figure, yeah.
And there was one night that me and him were just like, "Hey, they just made absinthe legal in the States. You want to try it?" Absolutely.
I remember when they did that too.
Yeah. So we went to the liquor store and bought a bottle of absinthe, and while we were there, we decided to throw caution into the wind, not listen to the instructions on the box, and instead just made our own mixer with it. So,
Oh,
right, we got a couple of different things that would potentially be a good mixer because we had no idea what the stuff tasted like or anything. So we take it home, we crack it open, we smell it. And it's like, man, that has like a black licorice smell to it. So we take a sip, and sure enough, it was kind of black licoricey, right? So one of the things we had was Dr. Pepper, and we mixed it with that.
oh God, no.
It was really good.
No. Oh my God, no.
It was too good, Andy, because we drank a lot of it that night.
Oh, I don't know how you could do that, man. Like that's the thing. I hate black licorice flavor. I really do, and that was the first thing that I thought of when I was drinking absinthe. And I'm like, no, I couldn't do this.
Yeah, I was a fan of it. So, yeah, I drank a lot of absinthe that night. This is obviously back when I still smoked cigarettes. Um, we went outside to smoke a cigarette. We lived in a part of town. Now, we had lived here for a while now, and we didn't really meet any of the neighbors or anything like that. So it was kind of peculiar. We did end up meeting one neighbor, but he came around later on. At this point, we hadn't met any of them yet. Meetened. So
Yeah, no,
it,
I caught that.
it would have been kind of peculiar for us to have seen any neighbors walking around, let alone walking over to our side of the house or whatever like that, because it was big house, front yard, all that. So me and my buddy are outside smoking a cigarette. Now he doesn't live there, but just to try to paint the picture here. And this girl approaches. Again, me and my wife now were just acquaintances at the time.
Hmm.
So this girl approaches the front yard, and I'm like, I don't know who this girl is, but look alive, you know. And she was attractive, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? And she's just like, oh, hey, sorry, didn't mean to bother you guys, but I seen you guys are both smoking cigarettes, and I wondered if one of you had a light. Yeah, I got a light, so I hand her a light or whatever, and light the cigarette for her. And she hangs around to talk to her a little bit. And I don't really remember how the conversation went. I just remembered that it was incredibly positive. And I remember constantly trying to invite her into the party, and she was having none of that. So I'm like, okay, at least the girl has a set of brains on her because she's not going to come into this random stranger's house when he swears there's a party going on.
Right? Come into my van. I've got candy.
Yeah, so I remember complimenting her on that. Like, oh, good for you. You got brains.
Oh man, I was almost gonna kill you, but you saw right through it. All right, you're a survivor. Have a good one.
So
Oh my God.
she leaves, and me and my buddy are sitting there talking about it. Like, what was that? And we're like, I don't know, but that chick was totally like, obviously enjoying her time here, obviously enjoying the conversation and all that. And like I said, very attractive. And I'm like, she's way out of our league. What is she talking to us for? So then the next day comes, and naturally we're out of liquor, so we had to go back to the liquor store. And on the way home from the liquor store, we stop, and there's a girl kind of lingering about our front yard. And I get out the car, and I'm like, hey, can I help you? And she's like, hey, you remember me from last night? And I'm like, no. I'm like, hold on. This woman ate the woman I spoke to last night. Oh, I have to get her out. Because I don't know what happened. But apparently the woman blew up to about 400 or 500 pounds overnight.
Oh man.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. She wasn't humongous, but she was not attractive in the strictest definition. And I'm just like, all right. So I know they said that, absinthe is supposed to make you see things.
Hallucinate.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know they kind of watered it down for the States. Did this work on me last night? Like, did I see this woman as not this horrible looking? Does she have a twin that I don't know about? Am I being punked? What's going on here?
You got shallow held.
Yeah, there you go. At the time, the punk joke was still relevant, by the way, so eat a dick.
Ah.
But yeah, it's just, and then I called my buddy up, and I'm like, dude, you won't believe this. Remember so-and-so? And he's like, yeah, why'd you see her again? I'm like, oh yeah, I seen her.
Oh yeah, actually this time I saw all of her.
Yeah. So he couldn't believe it. He had to come over for the party that night. We partied a lot that place. And yeah, that was just it was bad.
See, now me on the other hand, I had a few parties of my own when I first moved out to Vegas.
Yeah, Andy used to live in Vegas, so he's bound to have some good stories. One of them you have to pay for. I still say that's going to be paid for one of these days. But anyway.
Oh, anyway, yeah, that one's a whole nother bag. Actually, the thing that I thought was weird is so when I moved into my last apartment that I had in Vegas, because it's funny, like, moving there, I had a friend of mine just asked me, he's like, oh, hey, I've been seeing your messages on, God, at the time it was, I think MySpace was the thing people were using, and he's like, you seem to be like, in a bit of a rut or something, and I'm like, yeah, well, I don't really know where I'm going, I don't really have a direction, and I don't really have a whole lot of ties. And he's like, why don't you just move out to Vegas? Like, oh yeah, no, I'll just up and leave New Jersey and I'll move out to Vegas. He's like, well, yeah, why not? And I'm like, well, because. He's like, okay. And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, yeah, why not?
My God, you're right.
So, yeah, I everything I owned went into suitcases and I flew to Vegas. And I went out there at first for like 2 weeks for like a vacation, and I did like it enough to be like, all right, yeah, no, I'm moving out here. So that's just getting out there in the first place. And then when I had to find another apartment from where I was first staying at, which that's a whole another bag that I don't even know if I want to get into on here. But the recent apartment, I had to actually go through an interview process for that. I've never done that before.
Okay.
Like, so somebody was advertising looking for a roommate, and I was like, okay, no, I could totally share a space. I could be a roommate. I live with my brothers, and I know there's worse people, so I could do this. And it was a chick advertising, and like, no pictures come with it. So I'm like, oh boy, she probably won't take me because I'm a guy. That's 21-year-old me talking.
Sure.
So I answered the ad. It took me like, 2 hours to get there by bus. And then, I get hit on by a gay guy along the way, so that was fun.
Only one?
Only one, because
okay.
I actually counted during the time that I was out there. I was hit on by 11 gay guys, or guys I presume to be gay. Yes, including that one, 11.
Continue.
So, I get there, and she seemed nice, and we were talking. I had to get past the obese cat lady that lived on the bottom floor of the apartment because she was just like out there on the porch and everything like that, and she had like 3 cats around her, like one like perched in attack position, the other one on lookout, and then the other one was just like meh.
So
I seen this. Ignore me.
I seen his real quick. I seen a recent Simpsons episode.
Okay.
And the crazy cat lady on the Simpsons episode. I'm not going to go into detail as to why she was doing this, but apparently she has a talent where she can surf on like 4 or 5 cats at once. Like she just stands on them and they just like walk around carrying her while she's singing like perfect sublime opera music.
Wow.
It was one of the best things I've ever seen come out of that show in a long time. So,
Wow.
anyway, continue.
Okay. So yeah, after getting past her, got into the apartment. She kept asking me these questions, and I don't remember all of them, but I know some of them was like, what are your biggest pet peeves? What kind of person would you say that you are? All this other stuff, and I'm like, wow, this actually feels more like a job interview than anything else. She's like, I share the apartment with another woman. I hope that's not a problem. I'm like, no. Why would that ever be a problem? And then like we wrap up the interview, and I am kind of saddened to say that I tried to keep eye contact as much as possible, but thanks to my weird distorted lenses, I could look elsewhere and you wouldn't be able to tell. She was a fan of the low cut shirts. Oh man, that was a hell of an interview. So between answering all of her tits questions, there was another knock on the door, and she answers it, and it's like this tall guy, like 6'3", jacked build, one of those backwards hats, so he was a douchebag. And and he's like, oh yeah, hi, I contacted you about the roommate thing, and like, oh shit, I'm out. Like, that she would much rather have this guy hanging around than me. So I figured
Suddenly Andy sees his reflection. Oh, salt and pepper's not working today, boys. Time to go home.
So like, I go to leave and everything like that, and she's like, oh, I'll be in touch. I'm like, oh, sure you will. So after trying to get away, and the cat lady stopping me and trying to hold a conversation about, so I see you went upstairs. It's like, well, congratulations, you have working eyes. Like,
which is more than I could say about myself.
It's like, the cats don't approve of her. Like, what? No.
Oh, so the felinomancer.
A gatomancer.
Gatomancer.
So I ended up going back to my other place and waiting, and I expect to never hear from this woman again. And then she contacts me like a couple days later. She goes, yeah, I was wondering if you'd be interested in taking the roommate spot. I'm like, really? What about that other guy that came in after me? Like, I thought you'd much rather prefer him. She goes, oh no, he looked hot, but he was an asshole, and he also has pet mice, which wouldn't really work well with my cats. So like, okay, fantastic. So I ended up moving in there, and then I think like a month or two after moving in, she came home drunk one night, and I'm sitting on the couch just like watching TV, and she goes over to the fridge. She's like, do I have any more tequila left? I'm like, I think you do. It's not really my bag, so I didn't drink it. So she fixes herself a drink. She like throws the cap away. She's like, oh, who did the dishes? Like, oh, I did. I got bored. I don't mistake it. I'm not being nice. I just wanted to keep myself busy. Trying to play it cool, which was probably true anyway, because I was going kind of bored on the days that I had off. And, not having a whole lot of friends in the city and all that. So she like comes around the corner. She leans on the countertop in the kitchen, takes a big swig of tequila, looks at me, and she goes, so when are you gonna fuck me?
She said that.
She said that. Like, that is verbatim. She takes a big swig of alcohol, looks me straight in the face, and says, so when are you gonna fuck me?
See, here's the thing. You thought she was looking at you straight in the face, and as soon as you said that, it dawned on me. She was actually looking at one of her cats, Andy. Oh, man. For God's sake, get LASIK, man.
Thanks for that.
Anytime.
So, stammering aside, I was making sure that I heard her right, because I'm like, excuse me? Like, instantly the TV lost me. Like, there are other things on the horizon. Hold on, Law and Order.
This is way better than doing dishes.
Like, for guys out there that are listening to this, whatever, like, you want to cinch the deal, do her dishes. I swear she'll be turned on.
So what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened. Like the dishes was the nail in the coffin. Like,
No,
oh yeah.
like what happened afterwards?
Oh, so, I wanted to make sure that I was hearing her right, and she repeated herself, and because she's like, this whole like, flirting or being fun or coy or whatever the hell it is we're doing, like it's torturous. Like, are you gonna have sex with me or what? And I'm like, you are drunk. She goes, you know, when does that ever matter? And I'm like, it kind of does, because I live with this woman, like as one of those like porno dreams aside, like I always think about the long game here, and it's probably to my downfall. But I'm like, this is going to be awkward, and I know the kind of people that I attract out here. Like, this is not going to end well for me. So, I told her, you know what? If you still feel that way in the morning, then by all means, I'll I will. But honestly, you're drunk, and it wouldn't feel right to me. So that's where we left it at. She's like, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna leave my door unlocked in case you change your mind. Like, oh God, you're not making this easy.
3 hours in, you go in, all right, you know what? I've decided. You had enough time to sober up. You ready for this? And you just disrobe and all. What are you doing? Why would anyone be ready for you unless they need to season their steak? Get out of here, salt and pepper.
Like less than an hour after that, like when I go to my room, like our rooms are adjacent. So when I go to my room, I stop at the doorway for a second. I just hear her snoring away in her bed. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
It's one of those things where you just whisper to yourself, "You did good, salt and pepper. You did good."
Yeah, she woke up the next morning and we were having a conversation about it, and she's like, Did I offer to have sex with you last night? I'm like, oh, you did more than offer. You practically begged. And she's like, well, I woke up alone, so I'm like, yeah, you were drunk, clearly. And that's what she said. She's like, clearly. I'm like, ouch. It's like, no, not that. Just
was she drinking absinthe? I heard that makes people look a lot better than they think.
Jackass. Yeah,
wonderful.
but that was one of those things where it's just like, man, yeah, I do this to myself. I swear to God I do. But at the same token, like, it wasn't right. Damn it wasn't right.
No, you're absolutely right. It wasn't. But now look at you. You're about to get married. I'm already married. And it's not to absinthe woman and tequila sunrise there.
Tequila's that's actually pretty good.
So, good for us, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's something, non-personal I wanted to talk about for a second here. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not done with the personal thing yet. So, I have one other thing I want to talk about before we delve into something non-personal here. And that is, I found a thing to compare to your back to, I forget what number episode it was, but One Flew into the Cuckoo's Nest. I think it was a decasode.
No.
It wasn't.
No. I want to say it was in the 20s, like 23 or 4.
We're both right. It was episode 20, which would have been the second decasode. One Flew into the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
So, see, we're both right. Yay! Anyway,
Yay!
in that, Andy revealed something very personal about himself. That he only has, and no one else shares that issue with him.
Yet to this day.
I apparently have something similar, or at least I think it's similar, and I'd love to get everyone else's opinion on this. So please, if you share this, male or female, let me know. Comment, please. Just personally tell me. I don't care. Just let me know.
I need to know I'm not the only one.
I need to know I'm not in the same category Andy is. For the love of God. Otherwise, I'm gonna make up some sort of speech about it in his wedding, whether he wants me to talk on it or not. So. Okay, if you want to hear what Andy's thing is, go listen to the episode. It's episode 20. One Flew into the Cuckoo's Nest. It's on our website. Go nuts. My thing I was at work today, and I was talking to two of my coworkers, and one of them is kind of younger. He's summertime help, so he's like 17, and as 17-year-olds do, he was complaining about something being really annoying, probably the most annoying thing in the world. Like, yeah, whatever, dude. Uh, wait until you actually have to buy your own stuff. So,
Right?
um, I said, I don't know. I know something that's pretty annoying. He goes, oh yeah, what's that? I'm like, well, like when you go sit down to take a shit, and as you go to sit down, or it was already there the whole time, you don't really know, but there's a fly in there in the toilet bowl, and you're already doing your business before you realize it because you start hearing buzzing, and then all of a sudden you start feeling pecking, and it's like, oh no. And the worst part about it is there's nowhere he can go because if he goes down, he's dead, and if he goes up, he's probably dead. But he's going to be attracted to up, and you don't want him to go up. And he can't go out because he's going to be getting shot with more liquid. So he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place that he really wants to go to.
Or an increasingly soft place.
Yeah. Or an increasingly hard place, depending on what you're into. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's
Ugh.
kind of annoying. And like I said, you don't realize it till halfway through. So now you're like, I can't get up because I'm kind of
I'm in the middle of something.
I'm in the middle of whether or not I want to cut this tail off or not. So and if you get up, it might break off without you wanting to. So you got to just wait it out, and it's pretty annoying. And I'm explaining this to the 17-year-old, and he's just looking at me like, what is this guy trying to say to me? And my other coworker is just kind of like stopping what he's doing and giving me a long glance and just going, yeah, you're alone on that one. And I'm like, well, I can't be the only one. So here I am. Good people, hear my plea. Am I the only one that has this experience? Because Andy apparently has never had it.
No, never.
But I have to see, your thing is a little bit more unique because it only pertains to males. My thing, on the other hand, could be male or female, and no one is going to sit here and tell me they never had to use the bathroom that a fly was in the same room as them. Like, it happens. Flies are in the bathroom sometimes. Big deal.
Yeah,
So,
no, I've had it in the bathroom with me,
right.
but I've
So,
never had it actually in the bowl.
because you haven't had the chance, it just hasn't happened yet. But it definitely can happen, and I just want to know how people feel about it up there. Like, I'm sure someone else has had this happen. I just want to know about it. Talk to me, people. I'm dying to know. Eric, Jesse, looking at you guys. Anyway, on to more pressing matters, non-personal stuff. Netflix is doing a new show. I actually don't have all the details here. What I do know is it's going to be like a choose-your-own-adventure thing. It's an interactive TV show.
Oh no, this is interesting.
Yeah, and as I was telling Andy about it, it was kind of reminiscent of old Goosebumps books. Choose your adventure. Is so and so going to go into the creaky cabin, or is he going to continue down the woods?
No, 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 I'm not going to the cabin. I'm not going to the cabin. I'm going back.
Have my finger on the page the whole time. You've seen it.
Yeah, Peter, I seen it.
And then there's also the interesting thing that I thought of, which was I can't stand the Telltale games, The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands, just all kind of stuff
It's
like that.
so good though.
And I'm sure they are great storytellers, but as a consumer, I can't bring myself to spend video game money on 5 different episodes of something that I can watch in an hour. Like, it's just, I'm not playing anything. It's a long, drawn out story that you can wrap up in one shot for like $5. Do that. So I'm hoping that this Netflix thing becomes so successful that they're like, hey, Telltale, how about your next games with us? And you just make an interactive show. And they're like, my God, that's genius. And then they do it, and then I'll actually get to enjoy something Telltale made. Because aside from that, I'm not buying their games.
Well, I've gotten 3 of them for free. Just
Okay.
because,
I've gotten one of them for free. I won't mention how. But it was the first episode of the first Walking Dead one. And I hated it. I finished it, but I hated it. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. And then when they announced episode 2 and everyone lost their shit, and then someone had the audacity of saying it was a possibility for Game of the Year. And I'm like, you are out of your mind. I don't care what kind of load of shit people tried to put out that year and call it a video game. This is not a video game. This is an interactive story. And that's not fair.
I tell you what, though, Lee and Clementine were like my favorite characters that year.
Yeah, but they're your favorite characters because of their story, not because of the gameplay mechanics, not because of the music. Maybe because of the music.
Oh, the music is pretty good.
Right, but not the gameplay. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to sit there and tell me that a video game is going to get Game of the Year because of the story, not the playability, not the gameplay, not the enjoyment that you get out of it from it being the satisfaction of beating it or something like that, I'm sorry, it just doesn't work with me. No.
Do you feel the same way about Heavy Rain?
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, okay, so I enjoyed Heavy Rain because unlike the...
You had a quick time event to change a baby's diaper?
Because I got a quick time event to chop my finger off. Like, the quick time events were a little ridiculous, yes. But that was like the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game. After that, the quick time events were kind of like, it was basically, Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Tomb Raider, those style games without the gunplay. Was it a great game? By no stretch of the imagination. But I'd rather have interactive storytelling done that way than the way the Telltale games did it. Now, would I nominate it for Game of the Year, Game of the Month, Game of the Day? Absolutely not. Probably not even Game of the freaking Minute. Because, like I said before, there was not much gameplay to it. So, did I enjoy it? Yes. Again, got it for free. Probably wouldn't pay for it. Did have a nice twist and all that, and I didn't have to choose my own adventure. I was just, able to unlock other things by doing certain things in the game.
Right.
I could die. I could die, and I had to restart. And I mean, I guess you could die in the Walking Dead game. I don't know. I don't remember playing it much, but it was garbage. Okay, you know what? I didn't like Heavy Rain then. There, would that make you feel better?
Yeah, actually a little bit. I really didn't like it either. Actually, the QuickTime events kind of killed it for me. And while the mystery was keeping me playing for a little bit, the being absolutely drowned in QuickTime events was just like, nah, this is too much. Like, if I want an interactive QuickTime that actually made me feel some tension, that's what Dead Space was for.
Nah, man, God of War did the best job with QuickTime events.
Agreed. Agreed. I'm kind of sad to see them. I mean, I don't know if they're still around in the new one, but the gameplay does look gorgeous.
From what it looked like they are. Yeah, it does look gorgeous too, and it's a shame because neither me nor you are going to be able to play it.
I know. But I digress. The Choose Your Own Adventure thing for Netflix seems interesting. Like, I don't know how they're going to pull that off for an interactive TV show. But I kind of like the idea of people talking about, like, like a friend finally getting into it is like, oh, so I finally started, watching / playing. I don't know how you would say it.
I started experiencing.
Yeah, there you go. I started experiencing this new show. It's like, how far did you get? It's like, oh, well, I did this thing with this one character. Like, oh, that thing. like they're just talking about, like, where's it going to go next or something like that. Or, like, even better, I kind of like the idea of there being, like, an Easter egg where, like, everybody's like, oh, man, remember that one character? It's a shame they died and everything like that. And, like, there's, like, the one person that chimes in and goes, like, wait, what are you talking about? I had this person do this. Like, wait, how'd you get them to be alive? Because, like, they did, like, the exact sequence of decisions in the show to get that character to this point. And I'm like, oh, man, that'd be amazing. That has rewatchability all over it.
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly it. Like, you can watch something over and over again. Like, I really hope this idea takes off. I hope it does well, and I hope that we see something out of it. I mean, I certainly hope it doesn't take over all forms of movies and television shows and all that, but I wouldn't mind...
It's going to have a lot of pretenders very quickly.
Oh, absolutely. But I wouldn't mind seeing, like, okay, something like that might make me watch a Sharknado movie. You know what I mean? Like, that could be fun.
Okay, Sharknado movies should make you want to watch Sharknado movies.
I watched the first one, and I could not bring myself to watch the second one. But I mean,
There's
something that campy, something that over the top. Like, okay, what's going to happen next? Is the a shark going to come out of a tornado and just swallow this girl whole? Is the shark going to come out of the tornado and just eat half of her, and then she shoots her way out with a shotgun? That would be cool as hell. I can pick which one it is.
I'm waiting for them to make a show that incorporates that 360-degree panoramic view, like VR thing.
Mm.
That would be weird.
I'm waiting for them to do this, but it'll be weird.
Yeah, well, have you seen Hardcore Henry?
No.
It's worth it. It really is.
Okay.
Like, it's fun that it's like from a first person perspective and everything like that, and I like the way the story is told and the action sequences, man. From a first person perspective, when you're looking at it, like, how the hell did they do this?
Yeah.
Like it kind of makes you think of like how they pulled the stunts off, and they look so much better that you're from the perspective of the character experiencing the stunts, like driving a motorcycle through the back end of a moving van. Like, that is freaking amazing.
Sure. But anyway, one last thing I want to touch on the Netflix thing. I remember. So, kind of like what you were saying down the road, if this thing takes off or whatever, I'm kind of thinking more along the lines of when it starts to take off. Like, people aren't exactly used to the idea of it, but everyone's doing it. You might have, like, the older generation, like, probably us, by the time it actually takes off. We'll just be sitting around going, hey, did you watch this movie the other day? And like, yeah, man. Man, I love this one character. Wait, that character wasn't in the movie. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, John. And he went with Mary to go to, the Toys R Us to get the chainsaw. No. What you mean is Joe and Jennifer went to the Home Depot to get the pogo stick. This is a completely different movie. You didn't watch the same movie. I had to go home and watch the movie I told you to watch. God, Steve, what is wrong with you? It's just like... I'm telling you, man, I sat there and watched this movie. That's exactly the movie I watched. You are so terrible with technology, Steve. Just get out of my face. And then, Leonard sits at the water cooler all by himself because Steve left and he's all upset. And Leonard pissed him off.
Yeah, I'm going to drive away in my car that has a HUD display on the windshield that projects all the information instead of the dashboard.
Right.
Since we're in the future.
Yeah. So I got we're done with Netflix.
Okay.
I'm not doing transitions today. Just, move on to the next topic.
Yeah, let's just go on to the next one. That's enough over on that.
I got a listener's corner this week.
You did mention something about this. Okay. I for the life of me, though, I can't remember what you said they were, though.
Oh, buckle up. Andy, the audience wants you to tell them, in your own way and in your own words, why does poop sink or float?
Oh, toilet humor with you today.
This is what the audience wants, man. This is not me.
The quote-unquote audience. So, why'd you turn sink or float? Well, clearly, that has something to do with your dietary plan. So, if you're eating, let's say, light food or fat-free, then it doesn't give a lot of weight to your excrement. Your fecalocitous materials, if you will. So, of course, there's nothing to weigh it down. So, everything rises to the top. And, versus if you eat, thick, heavy food, of course, it's going to breed thick, heavy turds. And it just all falls to the bottom of the bowl. So, it's all just based on what you take in. What you take in, you give back out again. That being said, if something floats too much, leaves the water, then that is clearly the hand of aliens at work here, and you should probably go rooting around for the particular probe that's causing that phenomenon.
Okay, question. What happens? So what you're saying here is if someone eats 20 pounds of lead, it'll sink.
Of course.
Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically, man, that is science.
What happens if someone eats 20 pounds of feathers?
Oh, first of all, that'll be a bitch to get out. Because I don't know about you, but you can't digest feathers.
All right, what about Cheerios? So if you eat Cheerios, is it going to poop? Is the poop going to sink or float?
Oh, that'll float.
But if it's 20 pounds of Cheerios?
No, it doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it matter? It's 20 pounds of poop. It's going to sink.
The density of the food that you're eating matters, not the quantity of it.
Okay. How about if it's 20 pounds in one single poop? I'm pretty sure the Cheerios are going to sink.
Nope. No, if it's just Cheerios, it'll float.
You, sir, are out of your mind.
No. No, I'm not.
But that's fine because we're about to get out of our minds and go into clickbait news. But before we do, we have an announcement to make.
We do?
We do, Andy. You see, we are close to the one.
Oh, thank God! I thought you were announcing us coming out of the closet.
No, not yet, man. Come on, be real here. God,
all right.
get yourself together. All right, we are 1 month away from the 1 year anniversary of me and Andy doing this wonderful little thing called a podcast known as the Side Splitters.
Woo! Man, has it really been that long?
July 20th will be 1 year. So, in accordance to celebrate 1 year, me, Andy, and the one and only Fresco, I have it written here in Fresco's words. Andy and Fresco come into the Cribby Crib to do 1 year anniversary show. We're going to probably be doing some sort of stream. More details are coming soon. But as of right now, the three of us will be doing something. The previous Saturday, July 15th, we'll be doing something because July 20th is the actual anniversary, which is a Thursday. So we'll probably do something on the 15th. Like I said, it'll probably be something live, which would be cool. And then we'll probably have like a VOD or a recording of it, whatever it ends up being, and we'll probably release it alongside the weekly podcast on that Thursday, the actual anniversary date. And I'm sure we'll have some fun anniversary stuff to do on the actual podcast that week too. So yeah, something to look forward to. 1 year anniversary for us. So that's pretty much it.
Time flies.
Yeah, no kidding, man. It's more impressive that me and Andy were able to dedicate ourselves to something for this long.
Yeah, tell me about it, because a lot of other projects that I work on at some point or another always fall apart. So it's nice to see that something is a little bit more long-lived.
Me and you both, buddy. Anyway, on to clickbait news. So as normal, I have a Florida story, and I have two other stories. One in New York, and one in, where is this one? Mexico?
How many involve midgets?
Come on, you can't overdo something like that.
Oh, all right.
That one was too great. There's no midget stories this week, and I don't think midget is the appropriate word there, Andy. Little people.
Yes, it is. No, it's definitely
little people. Tell you what, I'll ask my wife, and I'll get back to you next week.
You can't have a derogatory term for midget. It's just midget.
Okay. Where am I going first?
Like I said, it's not a race. You can't be racist against them.
All right. Mexico, Florida, or New York? Where to first?
Wherever the people are the shortest.
So Mexico.
Oh, man, I'm so glad I got those box seats in hell.
That's fine. I got a great story for Mexico anyway.
Okay.
Andy, I want you to tell me. So 3 men were arrested on suspicion of grand theft. What did they steal?
In Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Grand Theft Donkey.
Grand theft avocados.
Ah, damn, that was going to be my third choice.
Funny you mention that because it was $300,000 worth of avocados.
That is a lot of avocado.
Yeah, no shit. So 3 employees at a produce processing facility in Ventura County were arrested this week after detectives uncovered an illegal avocado sales operation at the location, officials said Friday.
Oh
Uh,
my God.
Joseph Venezuela, Rahim LeBlanc, and Carlos Chavez were all taken into custody Wednesday, after investigators served search warrants at their homes and the Mission Produce location where they worked, according to a statement from the Ventura County Sheriff's Office. Chavez and LeBlanc live in Oxnard, while Venezuela is a resident of Santa Paula, because that's important.
Oxnard is a real place. Okay.
All three worked in the company's ripening facility on Dufour Road in an unincorporated area of Ventura County near Oxnard, deputies said. Detectives opened an investigation at the end of May after receiving reports that employees at the location were selling avocados for cash unauthorized from the company grounds. Investigators confirmed these allegations and found the illegal enterprise had been operating for several months. It was unclear what led detectives to tie the three suspects to the crime. Mission Produce estimates more than $300,000 worth of avocados was lost, sheriff's officials said. Investigators are now probing whether the men sold the produce to customers who thought the operation was legitimate. Then it says anyone who purchased avocados from the Mission Produce facility on Dufour Road within the last month is encouraged to contact Sheriff's Detective David Boynton. Yeah.
Wow, all of this is ridiculous.
One more time. Badura! Okay.
Badura! So, just to do like, a recall on avocados that are sold from a specific location. Like, I have a feeling that these three gentlemen selling avocados on the side of the road is not legit. Like, really? What gave that off? Is it because you didn't get them in pinata form that everything seems off?
Oh God.
I mean, I can imagine a person trying to return one. It's like, hey man, I got a bad avocado, man. It's mostly seed.
What are you talking about? There's plenty of green here. Yeah, but look at all the white, man. That's seed.
Yeah, but this thing is like mushy.
Alright.
It looks like a critter egg.
Alright. Enough. Florida or New York?
Actually, New York.
Saving the deep south for last. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so this one was for me.
Okay.
Did you ever? You said you watched Seinfeld a little bit, right? Like 5 episodes or something.
Yeah, a few episodes. Yeah.
Any Seinfeld fan would appreciate this. So I want I want you to try to take a guess at what a fake architect was busted in. What he named his business.
An architect?
Yeah, a fake architect named his business something. I want you to tell me what it was.
Man, I can imagine a slogan.
Oh wait, nope, this is wrong. I need you to tell me the fake architect that was busted and what the New York's Attorney General is naming the investigation.
Oh, is it? All right, they cornered Bill Mason and yeah, no, I got nothing else.
Fake architect busted in Operation Vandalay Industries.
Vandalay Industries?
Yeah, if you don't laugh right away, then you don't get it. It was
No, I don't.
So for a little while there, George Costanza, one of the lead characters in Seinfeld, was unemployed and was trying to get unemployment, so he can sustain things, and didn't want to look for a job or anything, even though they were trying to tell him, hey, look for a job. So he came up with the brilliant idea of, I looked for a job for Vandalay Industries. They're talking about possibly hiring me. What do they deal with? Latex. Okay. So he set up this whole thing where they would call Jerry Seinfeld's house, and he would answer the phone Vandalay Industries. Now, this is before the time of caller ID, so every time he answered the phone, he always had to say Vandalay Industries.
Oh my god.
The punchline ended up being Kramer was over one day, answered the phone, just said hello, and that was the one time that they called and was just like, hey, there's no Vandalay Industries here, you got the wrong number.
Wow.
Yeah. And George comes out of the bathroom because he was pooping in the bathroom. He comes out of the bathroom, pants around his ankles, just like, say Vandalay Industries, and falls over. And Jerry walks in, and you want me to make you a latex salesman. It was hysterical. Anyway. So from that episode forward, whenever George would describe his profession before he actually got a big boy job, to meeting new women, he would always claim to be an architect that worked for Vandalay Industries. So, yeah. Anyway, so on top of all that, a fake architect the guy's name was Newman.
Wow.
Another character in Seinfeld. Anyway,
yeah, now I do know him.
I'm going to read it for everyone else. Screw you, Andy. A fake architect named Newman has pleaded guilty to fraud after an investigation New York's Attorney General dubbed Operation Vandalay Industries. Attorney General Eric Schneiderman Schneiderman's office charged Paul J. Newman. See, this doesn't make sense. Had rendered fraudulent architecture services since 2010 in Albany, Rensselaer, and Saratoga counties. Schneiderman said Wednesday that Newman pleaded guilty to 6 felonies, including grand larceny and fraud. Victims included municipalities and businesses. Newman is expected to be sentenced to 2 1/3 to 7 years. That's a weird sentence.
Wow, yeah, that is a weird sentence.
State prison and pay more than $115,000 in restitution. Schneiderman dubbed the operation to nab Newman Vandalay Industries in reference to a long-running joke on Seinfeld about a fictional company by that name. A character named Newman was also Jerry's nemesis on the sitcom, all of which I described in a much longer breath. So yeah, there's that.
Right. Now, honestly, if I had an architecture business, you know what my slogan would be for my business?
What's that?
If we build it, you will come.
You're a weird guy, Andy.
Tell me that's not perfect.
Well, it all depends on what you're looking for.
It would be COME, the idea that, you like our work enough that you would want us to be there, plus it doubles up as an innuendo.
Yeah. That's like the pool company that said, hey, we're out to get you wet.
Exactly.
Okay, on to Florida?
Yes.
Since we obviously please. Don't have much to go off of with the Seinfeld story. I don't know why I went with that one. I just wanted to for me.
Yeah, I don't... I didn't watch the show.
This one's great, though. This has Florida written all over it. Can you tell me why the Florida man called 911?
Oh, man, okay. Why would he? He got his head stuck in an animal.
Oh, come on. You don't think a guy from Florida would actually call 911 for something that was necessary of calling 911 for, did you?
Well, I had hoped.
Florida man calls 911 because he needed a ride to Hooters.
No, you don't understand this level of emergency. They hired this new blonde, and she is stacked.
And okay, I don't understand this, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's part of the article here. In today's episode of quote Whose Man's Is This? Meet our first contestant, Jonathan Clayton Hinkle. No idea what that means.
No idea either.
Okay, good. I'm not the only old one. The 28-year-old Brevard County, Florida man called 911 in panic, telling the operator his elderly grandmother was about to have a stroke, and being the doting grandson he is, he desperately needed to be by her side. But the gag is, Hinkle just needed a ride to Hooters. According to New York Daily News, Hinkle said his grandmother is hard of hearing and has other ailments. He even offered gas money, all the while expressing the severity of the situation and needing to get his sickly grandmother. Police picked up Hinkle at a 7-Eleven gas station and dropped him off at a Merritt Island Hooters, believing that's where his grandmother's Gail Strickland was. Mr. Hinkle was in a state of panic and was really concerned for his grandmother's safety, the responding officer said. As I let Mr. Hinkle out of my patrol vehicle, he said thank you and took off in a full sprint across the parking lot and headed west. Okay.
Okay.
It turns out Strickland wasn't sick at all. After 3 hours, police located Strickland, who was staying with her daughter after being released from the hospital. In a sworn statement, Strickland told law enforcement officials that she never called her grandson in need of assistance, and she hadn't been to Hooters, and she wasn't having a stroke. Police later found Hinkle at a Burger King not too far from a Hooters, assisting his girlfriend who had car trouble. Hinkle was arrested Tuesday for misusing 911, which is a third. Damn it, the terrorist won again.
Oh man, proceed.
Misuse of 911, which is a third-degree penalty punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Then it closes.
Wow, really?
Yeah, apparently. And it closes Well, it does say up to 5 years in prison, so I mean, there could be like a minimal thing, but. It closed the article by saying, again, we ask whose man's is this? Like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know either. That guy thinks he's being clever, but wow, got a ride from the cops to go to Hooters.
Yeah.
But like his girlfriend was having like car trouble at Burger King, so like why did he have to go to Hooters?
See, I'm wondering, they said that they found him hours later at the Burger King.
Right.
So I'm wondering if the car troubles came after maybe his girlfriend worked at Hooters.
Oh.
Right. Or maybe his girlfriend worked at Burger King and he was like, oh, I know, I'll visit my girl at work so she won't be suspecting of me doing anything malicious, and then while she's working, I'll go to Hooters. There's a whole number of things we can do here.
Oh, I mean, come on. Like, if you were desperate to get a ride someplace, I mean, at what point do you check off the box of, okay, I'll trick 911 into getting me there?
I mean,
like, that is some shit. Like, the only time I would probably do that, it would be for, like, a midnight video game release at a GameStop. Like, oh my god, I have to get there. 911, what's your emergency? God of War's coming out. I need to get there. The Final Fantasy VII Remake has its own special edition PS4 bundle, and I'm not missing out on it. All of these things are acceptable.
Sure. Mine would probably be something along the lines of, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, right. They remade Metroid 2. Please?
Nah, never happened.
Oh, God. Shut up, Andy. It's happening.
Says you until they cancel the project or it gets pushed back to another year.
It's literally already done. It's just waiting on a release date. Shut up. Oh, God. And
That's what they said about Scalebound.
What? No one cares about the weird game. Look, we're not doing another video game episode, Andy. All right, that's the end of it. We're done with clickbait news. We're done the episode. Let's move on to naming the damn thing and get out of here.
Oh, man. Okay, so do you have notes? Because I have a couple.
I have 3.
Okay.
I have Bang for Your Pit.
Okay.
Too Legit for Pits.
Okay.
And finally, Hooters or 38 Bust.
Wow. I kind of just like Hooters or Bust.
Yeah, I just do, but I was just like, oh man, but 38 Bust would be funny.
I have Body Pillow Orgy.
Okay.
And The Devils Made Me Do It.
Oh, The Devils Made Me Do It. I do like The Devils Made Me Do It.
I kind of like Hooters or Bust.
Is there any way we could combine the two?
The Hooters Made Me Do It.
The Hooters Made Me Do It. That's it. I was going to say The Devils are Bust.
No, definitely the Hooters Made Me Do It.
Definitely the Hooters Made Me Do It. That will do it for this week's edition of the podcast. Episode 42, The Hooters Made Me Do It. Oh, right. What?
You sure you don't want to change your Steam account to this?
No. I've stopped doing that, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, that'll do it for this week's edition of Side Splitters. My name is Lyle.
And my name is Andy.
Oh, God. You're still trying. He is terrible. Please tell him
I'm
he's
still trying.
terrible. Tell him he's
No,
terrible at this
no,
impersonation.
nobody say a damn thing.
So, at least tell me that you guys got a fly stuck in your bowl. See you next week.
Later, guys.